Right, hello StarCraft fans, and welcome to Game 2 of Yanis versus James Lake. We'll be going as soon as I can find the actual folder. StarCraft 2 replays. Right, okay, let's go. Okay, so this is Varney Research Station. Yes, hello Yanis. Again, another Protoss versus Protoss. Oh no, not a Protoss versus Protoss. This time we have Zerg, a ZVP. So let's get the relevant tabs up. Okay, not much of interest I think so far, as there usually isn't, to be honest, in these games. Indeed. Yes, no drones. This is bad. Press this button, and then press that button. It's fairly simple. Do it lots of times, and you'll build lovely drones. Ooh, hatch first. Okay. Bold. I like it. Say, if this goes unscouted by Yanis, this will give James quite the economy lead, which will allow him to build a massive army and run all over the map and win the game. However, he's building up quite a few spare minerals. Okay, right, hatch into spawning pool. This is into extractor. Gotta admit, this is a build order I have not seen before, and do not expect to see again. Oh. And now the first drone comes down at about the 1 minute mark. Alright. StarCraft. Yes, however, James is now actually spending his resources, which is a significant improvement from the previous game. Yanis, following a rather more standard build pattern, pylon into Gateway into Cybercore. Perhaps going to go a little bit more standard after a somewhat unorthodox start in the previous game and didn't turn terribly well. We'll see. So, not sure. There's a moderately early spawning pool. May mean that James is planning to just spam out Zerglings and try and overrun Yanis as early as possible. This is a 17-minute game, maybe 18 minutes. I'm thinking if he does, it probably isn't successful. Say this is more lava here. You won't be turning those into things. However, doing a pretty good job of that. Limited mostly only by resources here, which is where you want to be. Whenever you're playing StarCraft, you want your limiting factor to be resources, and then you've got loads of workers with even more resources. It's excellent. Yes, we do indeed need some queens here. Queens are on the way though, got 2 queens. It only remains to see if James actually remembers to do the injects. So say Yanis, extremely standard, Gateway, Cybercore Forge, maybe see some cyber. Okay, Stargate at the back of the base, interesting choice. Perhaps hoping that James won't spot it and will be able to do some sneaky Stargate stuff. The only thing else I would say for Yanis probably wants to be expanding a bit early, as here you have what is, I believe, known as a pocket natural, a pocket expand, which is one that can only be accessed by going through your main base. And this makes it a lot safer to build in than a normal expand, because you only have to defend one access point here. So generally speaking, if you're on this kind of map, you want to be throwing down your second base a lot sooner than you would otherwise be. Yes, built a Mothership Core. He did do that last game. Mothership Core is pretty much mandatory for most Protoss builds. It's an incredibly versatile unit. That's why especially against Zerg as well, because it will, in conjunction with a pylon and even a photon cannon or a zealot, you can hold off a very large amount of early Zerg harass with just this, which allows you to, as I say here, throw down the base which has been spotted, but this Overlord is about to go down in response. This, as I say, it's Overlord's not very slow and generally cannot run away from things before the same thing kills them. So this unfortunately does leave James' supply blocked, so expect to see some... There you go, 3 Overlords on the way, yes. Let's have loads of supply. Again, getting a little bit too many resources, but certainly doing a much better job than he did the last game. Okay, as I say, we have a lair down, and Roach Warren just finished up. An Oracle, yes. This was something I thought might be coming. Generally speaking, sneaky Stargaters Protoss does tend to lead into an Oracle. Let's see, Oracle being rallied right round the corner of the map, which should make it very difficult for James to see and indeed do anything about. Because currently the only air defence he has are his queens, which in fairness are very good air defence. Sadly, oh no, let's say he has 3 queens, that one just wandering up the ramp for some reason. Queens can hold their own against oracles very well, so generally speaking what the oracle wants to do is just dive in and out of the queen's range and pick off these workers. The oracle, of course, being a Protoss unit, does have the regenerating shield. So yes, hatch number 3 down. As there, this is a very common tactic of Zerg. Zerg will usually build a lot of bases and try and just overwhelm the opponent with the sheer economy. Some roaches going down. Pneumatized carapace. Faster overlords, which again should help them run away from those pesky stalkers. Metabolic boost, very very good upgrade for Zerg, will increase their movement in quite a significant way. Yanis, not entirely sure what he's doing with his oracle. He may have forgotten it exists. Hydralisk Den as well. Hydra is very good against oracles, as Hydralisks are probably one of the most basic Zerg army units that can shoot up. Apart from Queens, but Queens aren't much good there. Yes, many Overseers. Ooh, Overseer's good. Overseers are detectors, which can see invisible units, such as observers, if Yanis decides to build into this game, although currently doesn't have a Robo Bay out, so he seems to be going mostly air, as well as Dark Templar, which Yanis, again, in previous rounds has been known for playing. Ooh. So this, yes, Oracle looks a bit... Did manage to get out alive though, and get 6 kills on it as well, which is pretty good. As well as we can see those drones all returning, which means they had to run away. So that will have damaged his economy slightly. However, as we can see, James still in a slight lead, but this is quite normal for a Zerg. Yes, this one could really do with a few more workers here. Neither of these Nexus are building any. Both of them have only 10 workers. Yanis has loads of minerals at this point, so what he really needs to be doing is just building up his economy. Because if you get too far behind in the economy against the Zerg, it will go very badly for you. Quite a lot of Stargates, not quite sure why he needs this many, if I'm honest. Imagine if he's building mostly Phoenixes. Phoenixes are quite cheap and build rather fast. So, yeah. Upgrades this time, as we can see, quite pleasingly. James is just about keeping up with Yanis in terms of upgrades. Let's see what's he got. So he's nothing at the moment. Has he got melee? Let's have a look. What upgrades do both players have? So metabolic boost, warp gate, weapons 1. So again, Yanis slightly ahead on the upgrades as per the last game, but not yet an insurmountable lead. And finally getting some workers down, which is nice. Again, James starting to creep up in those minerals, really needs to get a handle on that. As we see, he's got quite a lot of lava here. Should really be selecting them, turning them into stuff. He's also very nearly supply blocked, so I imagine we're probably going to see, there we go, 9 Overlords! Yes! Let's have all of the supply that is possible. As we can see, James seemingly is not a player to do things by halves. Again, this Oracle shields back up. Oracle can't do much really in the game besides kill workers, although as we can see this line pretty full of Hydralisks, so unlikely to do much there. This one, more Hydras, and this one is vulnerable, so if Yanis has not forgotten about this Oracle, which I feel like he probably has, he's gonna... Oh, okay. Lots of Phoenixes and Oracle. I'm not entirely sure what I'm trying to do. Probably good stuff to do. Okay, yes, this is what you do with Phoenixes. You can get one Phoenix to pick things up, and all the other Phoenixes to shoot it. Unfortunately, due to the rather large number of Hydralisks there, and the fact that Phoenixes melt pretty quickly to Hydras, as do most things really. Yes, as we see, was a good defensive play there by... yes. Carriers down from Yanis. This is possibly my favourite StarCraft unit. Well accompanied by this particular upgrade. I don't know if Yanis knows about that. The Graviton Catapult significantly increases the rate of intercepted delivery, which is the carrier's only way of building damage. Yanis also seen the devastating effectiveness of the Mothership Core last game, decided to get one of his own. How effective this will be against James's large number of overseers, that depends, but overseers aren't particularly tough, so if you can take out the overseers, this mothership will be quite a threat indeed, as we see. Not much going on really from either player. James still racking up an immense amount of minerals. So not much of a Zerg player, I don't know what the general remedy is for this, but what James might want to consider doing in these scenarios is putting down what's known as a macro hatch, which is just a few extra hatcheries, sort of here and here, whose purpose is not to be mined from, but merely to produce extra lava that will allow you to soak up all of your many minerals. Because you've got 2,000 spare minerals, you can easily throw down a couple of extra hatcheries, that will not be a problem. So sending out, seemingly, well, I thought he was going to do a bit of scouting there, but decided not to, perhaps going to group his army up, go for a big push. Oh no, Lings are back on again. Oh, okay, the Phoenixes have come in for another go, and now they're all dead. Yeah, I think once your opponent has this many Hydras, it's probably time to stop building Phoenixes, as Yanis has done, because he's now got much more carriers. Again, this other problem Yanis has been having in these games is building these expanded bases and not doing anything with them. You can see this army here, it's only, what, like 12 lings? It's a fair amount of lings, but lings are pretty weak. So this army will utterly annihilate these lings. 3 Stalkers and a Zealot though. Although actually James does seem to be focusing the Nexus here, so not sure if he'll get it down. These Stalkers, Yanis, get the Stalkers. There we go, good job Yanis. Not sure, yes, will barely survive with its life. Yanis again having the problem of leaving bits of his army behind to just kind of stand there and admire the view. Not a very helpful thing to do. However, many carriers in production right now, which is lovely. However, they're not in production are the one that's actually chrono boosted. Generally speaking, if you are chrono boosting a Stargate to get carriers out of it, make sure you actually get carriers out of it. Yes, indeed. So James has decided to try and invest in some upgrades this match, which will help him greatly. +2 missile attacks, very useful, will increase the damage of these Hydralisks significantly. They have a very fast attack speed, which means they benefit a lot from air upgrades. Yanis as well, getting towards his air 2. Still no shield upgrades though. Shield upgrades generally quite useful. Okay, over there, Yanis, you have loads of minerals. I mean, not quite as much as James does. But yeah, certainly get these shield upgrades. I wouldn't, at this point, disagree with throwing down a second forge and possibly even a second cyber core. That's 300 minerals for an extra forge and an extra cyber core. That's not much compared to the amount you have, and it will allow you to go through upgrades at a furious rate. Again, resource management is something both of these players do appear to be having issues with. Main way to rectify that is mostly just, yes, very good moves there from James. If only put some of his APM into building units instead of spreading creep, he would probably have won this game about 10 minutes ago. Yes, good point. Can't build units anymore, he's at 200 supply. General thing to do up to 200 supply is go and attack, which I imagine we're going to be seeing very soon. As this is something that Zerg can do if they've got a load of bases, is you build up a 200 supply army, you throw it at your opponent, and then by the time it's dead and they're coming to you for revenge, you've already built up another 200 supply army. And trust me, that is an utterly filthy thing to have to face. You see large number of Hydralisks out here. Zerglings racing quite far ahead of the main army. You don't generally want this, because a small number of Zerglings on its own, all that's going to do is give your opponent advance warning that a large army is coming. And you really don't want to do that. Let's say, James, at this point, I wouldn't really bother the Zelnaga Tower. You have a huge Zerg army. You know where it wants to go, and it's not the Zelnaga Tower. Other things to do here probably include... Fortran. Yeah, I used a little bit of Fortran in my EMC. No idea. Which EMC? The satellites one. As you see, the main attack finally coming in. 13-minute mark. Not showing us enough here. Again, splitting up his army. Problem splitting up your army is that this little bit here is going to go down. Pretty much no resistance whatsoever. Whereas, ooh, that's a fair amount of carriers actually. This is going to be interesting. So again, James can't see that, and he's going to have to go through the mothership core first. Unfortunately now, he can. Unfortunately, the thing is James is letting the Hydras auto-attack here, which means the Hydras are auto-focusing the Interceptors, and they'll do good damage against the Interceptors, but you really want them to take down the carriers. As by targeting the Interceptors, the carriers are completely untouched and free to make more Interceptors. Yeah, sterling work though these carriers are doing. I don't think it's going to be quite enough because James does have a large amount of Hydras there. Indeed, there goes the final carrier. I feel like maybe GG again. Yanis leading these carriers at home. I know Malcolm is not a man who is fond of the F2A click, but the one advantage of it is that it means you never end up with this. You don't end up with little bits of army left behind when the rest of your army is dying, which has cost Yanis quite heavily in a number of these previous games. At this point though, I do definitely agree with what Yanis is doing here in keeping these carriers at home, because those two carriers, now three, will at most slow down this army. It's a good plan here though, try and keep it on the ramp, don't let them see up. This will allow you to shoot them without any return fire. Don't let those carriers get too close to the edge though, because they will die. And there's also, once you've got enough Hydras, you can just let the Hydras target Interceptors, because the Hydras will wipe out the Interceptors in the market in short order, and then drop the carriers. Yeah, I have a feeling this game is probably over here. Let's see if Yanis has got any really significant strands to pull out. You can see the reinforcement rate is quite something. James was knocked down a lot of supplies in the fight due to having, how many bases is that? 4 bases, can just churn out an endless supply of reinforcements, which is not good. Both players now have quite a lot of spare minerals. I think Yanis mainly. Yeah, that's not good. This is what happens when you tend to split up your army. Bits of it die piecemeal, and yeah, you tend to get nothing off the enemy army in return. So, Yanis, I'm pretty sure, has lost the game here. Is continuing for reasons I do not know. He does indeed have the sneaky base there, but he's going to have to get some mighty work done to be able to get an army capable of threatening this Zerg before the Zerg notices it. He may do it, but honestly, right. So anyway, Yanis mainly dead now, is building a good number of gateways. That's encouraging to see. Gateways are a useful building. Why not build about 17? James, however, has probably realised what Yanis is doing, and looks like it's only a matter of time before he goes across the space. Yeah, he's found him. This one Hydralist is going to take out this base. Go on, you can do it. Oh, and the rest of the army has decided to join. Yeah, I'm pretty sure this is game now. It was quite a satisfying sight to see Hydras. Yeah, the DPS from that many Hydras is quite easy. As we can see, they will melt just about anything in their path. And this, I think, is the last of Yanis's building step on. No longer has been fought, it is defeated. James is victorious. Good game. Yeah, right. No GG.